Hello, guests. It's the host, and welcome to the Silent Lounge. And we just got an update this morning, as of recording, May 9th, Friday, that Killing Floor 3 is officially going to release on July 24th. I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the release date, and as always, if you want to see more content like this, give the video a like and consider subscribing to the Silent Lounge. According to this article by Gumatsu, Killing Floor 3 is now set to release on July 24th of this year. Although when I checked Steam, it didn't have July 24th as the release date. It just said that the release date is coming soon. This makes perfect sense because GTA 6 has been delayed for a year and it gave a lot of publishers a chance to breathe. Publishers all over just had a huge sigh of relief when they learned that GTA 6 is coming out next year, May 26th. So I'm not really surprised, if I'm being completely honest. If Killing Floor 3 came out in the same month as GTA 6, it would be massacred in sales. There's no doubt about it. GTA 6 has a humongous amount of hype behind it. People have been waiting for it for over a decade. I'm not a GTA person by any means, but I understand the hype behind it. And Rockstar makes fantastic games. Even though I never played any of Rockstar's games, I know from their reputation that they never miss, apparently. So, Killing Floor 3 has a chance to release without having to worry about being squashed by GTA 6. So, that's great. Is this release date good? Well, considering everything that we've seen so far, I'm a little bit mixed about the release date of Killing Floor 3. I understand why it's coming out in July 24th as opposed to in October or September or in the fall. Because fall for video games. That's the season or the months where we get a lot of games. And it would make sense for Killing Floor 3 to stay away from fall to avoid competition from other games. So I kind of knew that eventually, whether it was going to be July or June, or hell, it could have been the end of this month, that it was going to release. We just needed a confirmation, and now Tripwire Interactive gave us the confirmation. So, is this a good thing? Is Killing Floor 3 coming out in approximately 2 months from now a good thing? So, based on everything that we have seen so far, all the improvements, all of the map renders, I don't want to say map renders, but they're more so drawings or prototypes that they've showed us. Is what they showed us good? And is it enough for Killing Floor 3 to be released? In my personal opinion, I still believe that Killing Floor 3 has a long way to go. I still think that it needs a lot of improvements with the gameplay, the gunplay more specifically, because playing the Killing Floor 3 beta, the gunplay was not as good as the previous games. I've said this multiple times, and I've corrected myself from the very first impressions when I said that Killing Floor 3 had the best gunplay, and then after playing the older games, I realized that I was wrong. Killing Floor 3 doesn't have the best gunplay. It's the inverse. It actually has the worst gunplay compared to all the previous releases. And I even read comments from the Killing Floor 3 community or the Killing Floor community on what they think about Killing Floor 3, and a lot of people are still negative about it. I don't want to say they're negative about it, they're critical about it. A lot of people are not fully convinced, or they're not convinced at all that Killing Floor 3 is ready to be released. A lot of people are saying that Killing Floor 3 needs a whole year to cook more. And they need to completely rebuild Killing Floor 3 from the ground up to give us the experience that we want. And with 2 months, I don't know if Killing Floor 3 is going to be the game that we all want. Yes, they fixed the HUD elements. They made it look a lot sharper and cleaner, in my opinion. They fixed a lot of the enemy movements and animations and behaviors. That's also great. And they also changed the environment designs to be more atmospheric, to have more character. than the beta maps, because the beta maps were just way too clean. It just didn't feel like this was a Z Outbreak. It just felt like we were playing in a sandbox. So with all that said and done, I don't think that Killing Floor 3 is ready. If it was to come out this week, I would say Tripwire, give it more time. And now that it's coming out in 2 months, I don't know how much they can improve in 2 months. They can't rebuild the game. That's just not realistic for them to rebuild the whole game from scratch. I'm not expecting that. I don't know what the gameplay is going to look like. I can imagine it's going to be roughly the same from the beta, other than having some improvements with the enemy movement, the enemy reaction and behavior. The gunplay is like one of the most important things to me, and I know that how Killing Floor 3 is structured, I know they're not going to be able to fix it within 2 months, because a lot of the structure of Killing Floor 3 is about grinding. It's about getting upgrades, leveling up, and then taking your weapons with you. So that's kind of the whole point of Killing Floor 3, is that you start from nothing, you have crappy weapons, and the more you play, the more parts you get, and then you can craft stuff, attachments that you can add to your weapons to make them more powerful. And I don't think that's a bad thing. However, the guns, as they are, the base guns, are not fun to play with. And nobody is going to play a game for hours in order for it to get good. It doesn't make any sense. Impressions are very important when creating a game. When someone tries a game for the first 30 minutes, that first 30 minutes is crucial, because if they don't like the game within the first 30 minutes, they're not going to pick it up again. They're just pretty much going to say, oh, well, this was lame. I just wasted $40. I'm just going to play something else. And that's why with what they're trying to do, with this model that they're trying to do with grinding to get your guns to be good, to have the gunplay that you want, it's not going to work. And hopefully, I want to try to be hopeful in this video. Hopefully, they're able to fix it within 2 months, but I think it's unlikely. Because again, that's just how Killing Floor 3 is structured. So we'll have to wait and see when Killing Floor, we're gonna have to wait and see what Killing Floor 3 has in store, and if it's gonna be any different from what we've seen from the beta. I know it's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna look different, but I feel like it's going to feel the same, if that makes sense. So tomorrow I believe it's going to be at noon Eastern time. I believe that's going to be maybe 3 o'clock my time. I'm not entirely sure. But they're going to have a PAX East event where they're going to show off some gameplay of Killing Floor 3. And I believe this is going to be the new and improved gameplay of Killing Floor 3. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to react to it or have a live stream. My mom's birthday party is tomorrow. I got to be there. I want to support her and everything. So I'm not going to do like a streaming event reacting to the stream event. However, I will make content on it. I'm definitely going to make a video next week. This weekend I'm incredibly busy this weekend. So thank you guys so much for listening to my rambles and my rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the release date of Killing Floor 3. I personally feel like Killing Floor 3 is going to need more time. Maybe another month or two. I don't know. If someone came up and asked me, is Killing Floor 3 ready as it is right now with what they showed us, I have to be honest, I'm going to have to say no. I think it needs more time. It needs better gunplay in order for the diehard fans of Killing Floor 3 to be pleased. I also don't like the skins, the character outfits. It just looks goofy. I think if they went with a more simpler route with making them tactical looking rather than science fiction looking, I think it would mesh really well with the environment designs, especially since the environment designs look more gritty. I've said this in a previous video, I'm going to say it again. It doesn't make any sense for the characters to look like they came out of gumball machines or out of an anime if the environment is gritty and realistic. It's just a mishmash. So if you're gonna have a gritty environment, you got to have the characters match with that environment in order to make everything blend very well. Well, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.